Hi everyone. I'm here today with Razina. Hi Razina. Thank you so much for joining me today and being open to answering a question for me. For everyone, Razina, she's a client of mine. She only started a little bit less than 2 months ago, and she's already seen a lot of benefits from strength training. So I thought to bring her on and show you a little bit of what she has achieved and how she's doing, and maybe get you all inspired to start doing strength training or to start doing something for your own health. So hi again, Rosina. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi,
And
Vanessa. Thank you for having me
you're
today.
welcome. Lovely. My question for you is, in general, how has strength training helped you during
Yeah,
this short period of time? And a little bit more specific, what are the main changes or main achievements you have seen in such a little or in such a short time that you've been training with me?
sure. So it's going to be a bit of a story, but about no, sorry, I forgot that I've been in Spain for 6 months now. But 2, 3, 4 months before I moved to Spain, I started experiencing extreme weakness. Like I could not, for example, even use a butter knife. I started experiencing not being able to walk for long periods of times. My knees were giving out. Like I had extreme knee pain. I could not, sleep very well. I had really bad back pain. Basically, from head to toe, there was nothing that didn't hurt. Health-wise, I was also doing very poorly. I could feel, the fatigue that, would be normal for people. And like for me, it just became too much to bear. And I associated it with stress. But eventually, I did see two doctors who both told me that I was going through muscle weakness and that my body was aging 10 years, quicker than what anyone else would be going through. And a lot of it had to do with the lack of activity on my part, but also with gaining weight and stress and being so work focused that I didn't take any time for myself in terms of my health. So I did reach out to you because I saw your profile online and you talked about, your whole bio was about, women being healthier, being stronger, taking charge of our bodies. And honestly, I felt inspired. So I did reach out to you and I talked to you about my concerns and I told you about my muscle weakness. And, what made me like really, because I've reached out to many personal trainers before, I'll be honest. But I've always felt afraid to start because of the conversations we had. But then the conversation we had specifically was you talked to me about how strength training would help me personally, how I would see changes, hopefully how I can be able to have a normal life again. Of course, I thought, to an extent, this would be true. And I felt like some of the things I had would be a bit more permanent because of just how much pain I was in all the time.
Hmm.
And it was just so crazy to me how in just the first 2 or 3 weeks I gave you my
Yeah,
feedback that things started to change for me so much that I couldn't even believe it myself.
it was
And
really impressive. Yeah.
yeah, my first thing that I noticed was how strong, like my right arm for years now, I could not use my right arm, even to write, to use a butter knife, to carry small objects. I remember I told you that I was training last year and I was carrying a one kilo like weight, and I couldn't even use that 1 kilo weight. It was so heavy for me. It was so painful. And in just 2 weeks, like so I walk my dogs and I could feel how I can now, hold them back. I could pull them back. I started using a butter knife
For
normally.
everyone hearing, she has big dogs, not like
Yeah, yeah,
little
my dogs
tiny
are
ones.
very strong dogs as well. Like I could never walk them, efficiently. And now I'm like, in control of the walks. I'm able to walk them very well. I think I cried the first time I used a butter knife and I could actually like hold the knife and not have to do this. I literally had to hold it like this for me to
Wow.
be able to use it. And I was like, wow, it's just 2 weeks and I'm already experiencing these changes. But then I started to also notice that my legs felt stronger, my knees especially felt stronger. I was afraid to even like skip or hop because that's how bad my knees were. Like I was
Mhm.
afraid I could break them or I could hurt myself. I was so convinced I had arthritis. Um, but now I, test my knees out. I run here and there. I jump over things, and I can feel that, I'm able to, have a really like I'm just 31 and I honestly feel like a 31-year-old again. I walk my dogs and they climb on things and I have to climb on things. And I used to be afraid for myself that I might injure myself when I'm walking them.
Mhm.
And now it's like I can do anything with them. We jump on things,
Amazing.
we hop off of things, you know, but also in general, just my health, all of my pain went away. Like as of as of God knows the last month, maybe more, I just realized right now, literally right now, that I have not felt pain. Like no
Wow.
backache, no fatigue, no migraines. And another thing I had a lot that was recurring for me was migraines, but they completely went away. Like the more we trained, the more my body just feels so strong now, The other day I was carrying a really heavy, heavy trash bag because I cleared out my fridge. And I was so afraid. I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait for my husband. But then I was like, wait, no, I can do it.
I
I'm
can
doing it
do
now.
this.
Yeah. And it was proper heavy, but I was like, this is like easy. And I took it and I lifted it and I threw it in the bin. And, just having these changes for me, it's really life changing because, just a few months ago, I was really struggling. Like I would be in bed all day in pain, crying, and I didn't understand what was happening to me. But now I wake up at 6 a.m. every day. It's like a natural clock for me. I'm up at 6 a.m. I'm moving around. I have energy. I'm doing things. And I'm like, this is literally life changing.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing this. This is there are things I knew because you've told me about it. There are other things I'm just hearing now and it just I can't help but I'm still very, very impressed of your with your progress and how
No,
quickly
thank you,
things got
honestly.
sorted for you. Um And just before we go, just to close a little bit, is there anything you would like to tell women out there? Because I know we were focusing a bit on your pain and such, but there was also a bit when you started, and this happens to many, many of the clients that I have, at least, that they are a bit afraid and they don't know what's going to happen when they start. That they are scared to start, they're scared of lifting the weights.
Yeah.
Uh, is there any word, any advice, or any sort of wisdom pill that you want to throw out there for people who are in a similar situation?
Honestly, I think for me, and this is just an advice that, I would give based off my experience, you know, I've gone through different trainers and I've gone through different emotions with them. I think us working out as women is very emotionally tied.
Yeah,
Personally, I used to have a lot of stress and anxiety, and I shared this with you about going to the gym. But I feel like from the beginning, like your reassurance, and when we started working out, and you never wanted to, push me beyond what I was able to at that moment, it gave me so much confidence in myself. And I always felt like, okay, I'm going to the gym. It's not going to be hard. I'm not going to fail. So I feel like, matching with the right
yeah,
trainer, having
yeah.
someone who understands your needs and understands
Mhm.
how far you can go is the most important thing. Like I would say, do it today, don't be afraid, but that's not true
That's
because
not true. Yeah.
personally, I was extremely anxious, to start, but from the beginning, your first words to me were, I know this is your threshold. I'm going to go 75%. I'm not going to go up to your threshold. We're going to start here just so you get comfortable first. And to be honest, now, you've been increasing the weights, we've been doing other things as well. And I'm really comfortable to take it on because I feel
Mm,
like not only have you built my confidence in myself, and I'm sure of myself now, but I also feel like I have someone who understands me, and if I ever say to you, I'm not comfortable with this, I know that you'll be like, okay, let's switch it up. Like you've
right.
given me this room and this space, so I feel like
Mm,
matching with the right trainer
yes,
is like
a
the best
hundred
advice I
percent.
can give.
Yeah. Thank you. This is 100%. I agree with it. Like for all of us, matching with the right people. Uh, there are a million trainers out there, different styles. There are a million people out there in different styles.
True.
So we each have different needs, and we will click in a way with different people. So
True.
that is really, really important. Awesome. Thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you.
these with us and for joining me today and for sharing your story with our
Thank you
audience.
so much for having me. I'm truly honored. And thank you for all the help these past almost 2 months.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.